Hi, everyone. Lent is now upon us. We've just had Ash Wednesday recently, and now it's time for that uh, uncommon and non-standard love type of training that leads us up to the main event of celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ at Easter. It's the highest and holy day of the Christian calendar, where basically everything is leading up to it throughout the year, and specifically Lent is that 40-day period leading up to and preparing our hearts for when we will celebrate the apex story, the apex act of God that has affected all of our redemption in the sacrifice and death and burial resurrection of Christ. Anyway, people get into Lent and they again start asking the question of themselves, gee, what am I going to do? What's going to be my spiritual discipline for Lent? And the temptation can be sometimes to start sharing among yourselves, sharing among friends. What are you giving up for Lent? Oh, I'm giving up this. And then what are you giving up for Lent? Well, I'm giving up that. And it becomes something of a, well, I'd say friendly, but sometimes maybe not so friendly competition, where people are, developing social status amongst each other, determining how they're going to be the most serious Christian. Well, Jesus had something specific to say about that. Just recently, we had in our gospel reading, even for Ash Wednesday, Jesus pointing out, don't be like the hypocrites who do these things specifically so that others will notice that they do them. I tell you truly, they have the reward. And what's that reward that they're after? Well, the social status of it, the recognition, the couple of the bump in their poll numbers that politicians get when they show up and give a press conference with that smudge of ash on their forehead. Don't be like that. And as a result, you engage your disciplines and you do so in such a manner that is so personal to you, that is so meaningful, that is a way of interacting with God in a manner that's so deep and true to your soul that you wouldn't dare want to share it with anybody else. Perhaps you might share it with a priest because you want a trusted friend of the soul who's going to help you think through and walk through how it is you want to be conformed more to the image of Christ. But this is the opportunity when we find out that Christianity is not an easy task. It's not the comfort zone that we've been fed, many of us growing up. This is something where actually God expects something of us. Even though we can never add to all that he's done for us, there still is some legitimate responses that call upon us to be serious about how we want to be engage our interaction and our following of Christ. So engage Lent, think about it, but then dive into something that's so important, so personal, so deep to your soul and psyche that, quite frankly, it's no one else's business. Again, you may have a pastor or a priest that's something that you confide in about this, but specifically, this is why Jesus says, you're looking at for the recognition of one of two sources, your peers or your God. Choose wisely. That's all I have for today. God bless you. If you enjoyed this content, please hit like and subscribe, and we will keep it up.